I talk a lot about fitness entrepreneurs who are so good about their physique and the regimen and all that, but then in their business, they're looking for the secret or the 12 courses that don't let them do the work. Once I made the religious decision to do the work, and I had one interesting unlock that maybe can help you in some way. I figured out in that really zen place, I was like, fuck, it's because I'm not competitive with myself. I don't give a shit if I run 4 minutes and 9 seconds and yesterday I did 4:11. Like, I'm competitive with everything in the world but myself. And so I realized I needed to be held accountable to another human. I work out every single day and don't cheat and do, like, I've been unbelievable because I don't want to let Mike down. And because I know every morning I'm gonna go on the scale and Mike's gonna know. Like, I've suffocated myself. And now and by the way, Mike's tenure of 2 years all in is done July 7th. I have a new guy starting and for 3 years. And I'm very comfortable saying this. If I was ever to stop doing it, I would revert back. So many people after 6 months or a year like, all right, Gary, like, you don't need Mike anymore. Like, you got it now. I'm like, absolutely not. It's the accountability to another person is what was the breakthrough for me. I try to give away all my shit all the time. Like, to me, one thing I've learned is that 99% of people won't do anything with your information anyway. It's all execution, and especially what I do for a living, I'm trying to figure out new platforms of attention quicker and better than the market. So, I mean, by the way, pre-roll YouTube video. There's 9 years of content of me saying it's shit, except 6 months ago, Google changed it, and now you can target people's Google search behavior in pre-roll video, and all of a sudden it's fucking good because I know exactly what your intent is. I don't give a crap about Google's bullshit demographics. No longer am I crippled by, are you really a 33-year-old African-American female in Houston? I don't give a shit. I know that you searched the Houston Rockets, so I got what I need, right? So, you know, the truth is, I've got it in a mental box where, like, I understand. The one that's probably bothered me the most is jab, 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 right hook. So I wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Give, 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 and then ask. Unfortunately, so many think it's give, 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 and then take. Even more scary, I don't like when I watch people give me things I don't want and then expect me to give them things and then be like, what up, bro? Jab, 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 right hook. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, I didn't want you to send me your bullshit t-shirt. Like, I don't consider your fucking piece of shit t-shirt a jab, dick face. So, got it? So, I would say, look, and I think more importantly, I'll give you one other slight tweak that I actually think is more helpful than anything I've said here. And this will help a lot of you, I hope, because it's been huge for me. It's never the hiring. Too many people here are crippled by hiring and making the right call. It's about the firing. So if you're gonna let somebody into your inner circle, don't worry about what their intentions are or if they're full of shit. Once they get in, if you can taste it, get them out. The pillars that got us there were, number one, culture internally. Because I think, so I'm a big fan of B and C players. I'm gonna give you a lot of things like the hiring and the firing. Another one that I think has that same ethos is I'm actually very fond of average players on your team. If you're going for scale, if you're gonna build a 4-person company, you all have to be ninjas. I get it. But if you're building a 700-person company, you don't have 700 A's. As a matter of fact, if you really break it down, anybody that works for somebody else isn't like you. There was no me working for you. So number one, it was the acceptance of not being crippled. First, hiring ultra fast. The hiring process at VaynerMedia is, are you alive? You're hired. You know? Like the inside, like the truth is, it got a little bit better than that when I got out of the equation. But when I hired employee 30 to $150, people barely got off the elevator, and I was like, here's your punch card. You know, like people were like, especially people that, a lot of the early people like knew who I was, and they thought it might be hard. I mean, they couldn't believe, I was like, you like sports? Nah, you're hired. Like, it was just whatever, because I realized we were growing. And here's something very interesting. One thing that you have to understand is you can't be the judge and the jury for the market. one of the reasons I grew it so fast was we were so ahead of the market with social media marketing and strategy that even if they were B and C players, I knew they were A players to the market. So my B and C could walk into Campbell's Soup and seem like a super A. So I think one of the things that, if you're great at search, what you need to understand is who you're selling to may not be as great as you are, and not that, and please, I wanna make sure I'm being this is what's great about having time to give these detailed answers. I'm not talking about selling stuff you don't believe in. You gotta understand, a lot of people, so I had, you know what's funny? I had a lot of no men and no women around me. Like, for somebody who's so hyperbolized, I like people who like push back against me. I need the context. So a lot of them pushed very hard in 2010 and 11 of like, Gary, what's the ROI? Like, right in my team, like, does this mean anything? Does this help the client? And I educate them, like, look, and this was before there was paid social that could drive the business results we have now, so it was very organic. I go, look, here's what you have to understand. They're paying us $5,000 a month for the amount of content and strategy we're giving them, and just the IP for $60,000 a year is a gift for these companies. They're paying $5,000 right now for the catering bill on their bullshit commercial, right? So it's about contextualizing. And so one, it was the culture, like keep continuity. The amount of people I have, our voluntary turnover rate is 75 to 100, like it's unbelievably better than the market. Two, it was my brand leadership as a, you know, I mean, I had a real, what do you mean I had? I have a real fucking racket. I get paid $100,000 to go and speak and then land $1 million accounts. It's fucking good. You know, like, so, you know what I mean? Like, it was funny, I saw you shaking your head to some stuff right now. I always pay attention to who's vibing with me when I speak, and I use their positive energy to keep my momentum going. This one Toyota talk, small group, maybe this size, and there's just one guy giving me vibes, like, you know, mentally I'm like, I'm gonna go thank that guy after this talk. Guy ends up being the fucking CMO of Toyota. And this was a dealership, like Northeast Dealers, you know? Like, and so, this speaking, my brand, and then finally, and this will always be tried and true, as charismatic and as cool as I am, as much as we have continuity, there is no $100 million. There's no 30 to 650 people, 3 to 100 million in revenue in 4 years without doing good work. So the biggest growth we had, the biggest, was somebody at Pepsi being blown away. Lipton Brisk Iced Tea, South by Southwest 2009, 7 weeks after Instagram came out, we made Instagram cans for Brisk Iced Tea for South by Southwest. That got them a lot of press as Instagram blew up. That guy left and went to Mondelez and hired us, right? So like in corporate America, people are leaving and going to different companies and hiring us. The key to our growth was word of mouth of our good work when people went to other companies. Most of what it looks like is going on isn't. Like, I think you'd be very fascinated by the fact that, I don't know, of the $100 million in revenue VaynerMedia will do this year, 60 or 70 of it almost has nothing. Like, I don't even know like nothing. Like, they're not buying Gary Vaynerchuk. They all, like, of course, once in a while they may think that, but we're very clear that this is an agency. So it's very self-sufficient without me. But why it's the scalable version of me is the craft that the agency is doing. Meaning, we're leaving a ton of fucking money on the table by not doing banner ads, by not doing search, by not doing a ton of shit. We probably left $25 million straight up on the table by not wanting to build websites. So when I say it's a scalable version of me, my main plan 7 years ago was, how am I gonna as I started meeting Zucks and Travis and Zoc, I was like, fuck, I'm not these guys. this is not who I am. And back to self-awareness, I'm like, so I'm not gonna make my money the way they're gonna make their money. So 7 years ago, I'm like, how am I gonna buy the jets, right? And so I decided that what I was better at than all of them was I could sell shit better than them and like stuff. And then I kind of gave it a lot of thought for a year and I said, there was this guy by the name of Dean Metropolis. He's just a private equity guy, but he did something I believe in. I'm a very big believer that nostalgia is the most underpriced asset in our society. It's, for example, Had I been further along, and I wouldn't have seen it, but had I been further along, it would have made sense for me to buy Marvel in bankruptcy and then make it into movies and make $1 trillion. That makes sense to me because the Hulk has been around for a while, like Spider-Man matters. So D. Metropolis bought Tuna Under the Sea tuna fish. He bought Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. He bought Bazooka Joe gum. And then he just runs them better and flips them. For me, I want to buy brands like Snickers or Puma or Lacoste or I don't know, Timex or Peter Pan peanut butter. I want to buy brands that have been neglected and underpriced, run them through the VaynerMedia machine and then flip them. Because those are the kind of things you can, like I can buy a business for $80 million and sell it for 4.6 billion if I can do what I've done in 2 businesses that I've ever run, which is grow revenue extraordinarily quick. So that's what I set out to do, which meant I was gonna have to eat shit for 10 years at the height. And again, Dan, a couple of people here, you guys knew me, like I had a lot of leverage in 2007, 8, 9, 10, like I was in it. I was in it. And when I announced VaynerMedia, Zucks texted me and said, the fuck are you doing? Like building an agency, client services? Like I was a disappointment to all my tech titan friends. I mean it, like straight up disappointment. But I was like, cool, like you go do you and make trillions and change the world. I just need to make 4 billion and buy the jets. And so this is the only way I know how to do it. And so it took a lot of humility and patience to get here 7 years later and have what I have. It also took the fact that I had to know that my people skills were much better than everybody else's so that I'd be able to keep, because my vulnerability is they can leave tomorrow. I'm not building a product, I'm not in a SaaS business, but I also had enormous confidence in my ability on a people level, and so that's where we're at, and so that's what I mean by that.